one of India's most ambitious project in last year, that is the year of 2022, that is Project Cheetah, that is reintroduction of cheetahs in India, has now completed 1 year. So let's analyze that how the Project Cheetah or the reintroduction of Project Cheetah has performed over the year. Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be looking into the topic of 1 year of Project Cheetah and its analysis. So first of all, about the timeline, first we will be looking at the news, then we will analyze that how the performance of the Project Cheetah has performed, then what is the Kuno's carrying capacity paradigm shift, and in the end prelims MCQ. Topic is of relevance from general studies paper 3, that is conservation. So let's begin. And before starting, let me tell you that on the occasion of Diwali, as the festive season has begun, Drishti IAS is coming up with 50% discount on all online pen drive and test series courses, and the offer starts from 10th of November and ends on 14th of November. So any of you who is looking to enhance their preparation can go for the same. The news talks about 1 year of Project Cheetah, hits, misses and paradigm shift. 1 year of Project Cheetah. Now what is Project Cheetah, or you can say reintroduction of cheetahs in India. So now let us know few of the facts about Project Cheetah. So first of all, about cheetahs. If the word reintroduction means that earlier the cheetahs were present in India, then it became extinct, and now again they were brought back to it. So cheetahs became extinct in India in the year 1952, and in the Asian continent the cheetahs as of now is present only in Iran, and that too a very minimum number of cheetahs. You can say that 12 to 15 number of cheetahs are present in Iran. And if we talk about the Asian cheetahs, then they are smaller in size as compared to the African cheetahs, and their IUCN status is critically endangered. If we talk about Project Cheetah or the reintroduction of cheetahs in India, then it happened in the year or I can say September 2022, when cheetahs were brought to India in Kuno National Park in the state of Madhya Pradesh, and the cheetahs were brought from 2 countries, that is South Africa and Namibia, and in total 20 cheetahs were brought. From South Africa they were 12, from Namibia they were 8. So these are the facts that you need to remember from the perspective of Asian cheetah and Project Cheetah. So the news talks about that a year after it was launched, Project Cheetah, that is one of India's most ambitious projects to introduce African cats in the wild in the country. So the cheetahs were brought from South Africa and Namibia to India, and then they were kept in the Kuno National Park of Madhya Pradesh, and it has been claimed that they have achieved short-term success on 4 counts. So short-term success on 4 counts, and these 4 counts are 50% survival of introduced cheetahs. So it has been claimed that 50% cheetahs that were brought from Africa to India, 50% have managed to survive. Then establishment of home ranges, then birth of cubs in Kuno. So the cheetahs, the female cheetahs have also given birth to their cubs, even though the cubs have died and few of them are surviving also, but the reproduction aspect had taken place, and revenue generation for local communities. So it has been said that the communities who are living along, or you can say besides the Kuno National Park, there has been seen a growth in the revenue generation for them as the tourism has improved there. So let us see the 4 counts that has been said, that on whose basis it has been claimed that the project Cheetah has been a success. So the first claim is about survival, and it has been said that more than 50% or around 50% of the cheetahs have managed to survive. So that means that the project, if 50% of the wild cats who have been brought into India from outside and specifically from the African continent, if 50% or more than 50% have managed to survive, then it can be termed as a success. The test of survival is in the wild and not in captivity. Is in the wild means that we need to see that the cheetahs who have survived were roaming in the wild and they were not kept inside or in captivity. Then the cats arrived in India in September 2022. 3 Namibian males, it was supposed to spend 9 months in the wild, while on the other hand the 5 Namibian females, they were supposed to spend 9 months in the wild. So male had to spend 1 month more than the females in the wild, and Namibia in total 8 cats were brought and 8 cheetahs imported from Namibia. So together male and female, they should have spent around 75 months in the wild in last 1 year. So we will see that how much time they have spent in the wild. And the project lost 40% of its functional adult population. 40% of its functional adult population, because many of the cheetahs have died after they were brought from Africa to India. Then 20 cats arrived in India, 6 died and 2 were unfit for the wild. It means 6 have died and 2 cats, they are not ready to go into the wild. And 4 cubs were born in total, and out of those 4 cubs, 3 have died and the 4th is being raised in captivity. So if we talk about the number of cheetahs going into the wild and roaming around in the wild, then the cheetahs are not fit to go into the wild and perform their respective terms. So in total 20 cats arrived, 6 have died and 2 are unfit. 4 cubs were born but 3 have died and 1 is kept in captivity. So let's see the ideal situation versus what happened in the Kuno National Park. So if we talk about ideally how the cheetahs should perform and compare it with what has happened in the cheetahs when they were in the Kuno National Park. So if we talk about the wild in India, on one hand we have the Namibia cheetahs, on one hand we have the South African cheetahs. So the number males 3, females 5, and South Africa male 7, female 5. Once ideally in the wild, then how much time they should spend outside, that is in the wild. Namibia male should spend 10 months, female should spend 9. South Africa male should spend 6 while female should spend 5. While if we talk about the months actually spent in wild in India, so this is the ideal situation. Now let's talk about what has happened in India. So on one hand we have the Namibia cats, on one hand we have the South African cats. So let's talk about the cheetah and the months in the wild in case of Namibia. So in case of Namibia the total is 16.12, and if we talk about South Africa, then months in the wild the total is 10.65. So in South Africa the total is not even 11, while if we talk about the Namibian cheetahs the total is not even 16.12. So if we talk about all the cheetahs, total months spent in the wild in India is 26.77. 26.77. While the ideal situation talks about that total cheetah months that should ideally have been spent in wild is 142. Ideal situation says around 142 months should have been spent in wild, but in India 26.77 months have been spent by the cheetahs in the wild. So much lesser than the ideal situation. But if we talk about the survival aspect, then out of 20 cheetahs which arrived in India, 50% have managed to survive, and the reproduction has also taken place. Now let's talk about the aspect of home range. So only 3 Namibian cheetahs have spent more than 3 months at a stretch in the wild, and it is unlikely any of the cats would have established home ranges in Kuno. So the cheetahs, even though if they are moving outside and they are moving in the wild, but they have not been able to set up their own home ranges in the Kuno National Park. Then comes the aspect of reproduction. As I've already told you that in total 4 cubs were born, out of which 3 have died and one is there which is kept in captivity. So the goal of from the perspective of reproduction was cheetah successfully reproduce in the wild, because if the cheetahs would be able to successfully reproduce in the wild, then it will give us a certainty that we can, as a nation, can expect that in the coming times the cheetah population can increase on its own. And the Namibian female that gave birth to 4 cubs in Kuno was captive raised herself. Now the reason and the problem which was coming was from the perspective of reproduction, that the Namibian cat who was giving birth has given birth to 4 cubs. The problem was that she has not given birth to 4 cubs in the wild. She has given birth to 4 cubs when she was kept in captivity. So now this raises a question that are the female cats ready to give birth when they are outside or when they are in wild? Now this has to be seen, and if they are ready and if they are willing to give birth to cubs and reproduce, then it will be a big plus for India. Now let's talk about the aspect of livelihood. It generated a number of jobs and contracts for the local communities, and the price of land has appreciated significantly around Kuno. So the people, because that Project Cheetah was one of the most ambitious project of Government of India, so the tourism has managed to increase, and because of the tourism it has created a lot of jobs for the local community who are living along with the Kuno National Park. So from the livelihood perspective, you can say that it has been a good success. From the reproduction point of view, even though the Namibian cat was raised in captivity, but still she has given birth to 4 cubs. And then home ranges is a point of concern. And then about the survival claims, even though the cats are not going very much outside in the wild, but overall 50% survival rate is considered to be fine. Now about Kuno's carrying capacity. So the goal was to establish a free-ranging breeding population of cheetahs in and around Kuno. Free-ranging breeding population of cheetahs, so that it can see that whether the Kuno National Park is in itself sufficient enough that the cheetahs can be raised there. Then Cheetah Action Plan estimated high probability of long-term cheetah persistence within population that exceed 50 individual. So cheetahs prefer spaces which are big in size, because they are wild cats, they are big creatures in itself, so they need huge spaces where they can move around in the wild, and much human population should not be there. Cheetah human interaction or cheetah human conflict should not take place. Then the Cheetah Action Plan, Kuno's cheetah density at 38 per square kilometer, which could sustain 21 cheetahs, while a larger landscape of 3200 square kilometer could support 36 cheetahs. Now we have to see that if cheetahs are there in the wild, then there should be enough food available for cheetahs. So cheetahs highest or the largest prey is cheetahs. So the density or the presence of cheetahs had to be maintained while the cheetahs are roaming in the wild, because a certain ecosystem needs to be in place when the cheetahs are present in the national park and when the cheetahs are outside in the wild. Now about the paradigm shift, then Kuno cannot support a genetically self-sustaining population of cheetahs. So genetically self-sustaining population of cheetahs Kuno cannot support, and specifically when the cats have been brought from some other continent. So the project only option is a meta population scattered over central and western India, because if the national park or the place is not suitable for the genetically sustained population, then it has to be kept in mind, and it needs to be seen that the cheetahs which are brought from outside, they need to be kept together. Then cheetahs cannot travel the distances between these pocket populations on their own, as first of all the Kuno National Park is very much new to them, it will be a new house to them, and the environment is different, the weather is different, the climate is different. For them it is like a completely new home. Now in the end, a prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. It is a PYQ of the year 2012. So just to give you an idea how the questions are being asked, consider the following, and you have to talk about which of the above are naturally found in India. Naturally found in India: black-necked crane, cheetah, flying squirrel, or snow leopard. Naturally found in India, and the codes are 1, 2 and 3 only, 1, 3 and 4 only, 2 and 4 only, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So try to give me the answer, and I think this would be an easy one for you people to answer. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.